Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Man, we got some new overlays. We got Met Monday.
This brilliant pillow keeps your airways open even if you've struggled with sleep apnea for years. It's basically medical grade.
Southwest. No.
Like here?
No,
go
to the
go
east.
east more.
East more?
Go, yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I like that.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
This is, I think I just clicked in Indiana. I can't see the state
That's
lines
fine.
very well.
I think that's
So-
That's on the Illinois side of the border, I think.
Okay.
We'll try that.
Oh,
it was!
Wow.
It was in the Northeast.
pain.
No
pain.
way.
That got me.
Pain.
It was literally a suburb of New York City. That's unreal.
you're right up
North,
with the New
yeah,
York.
north of Poughkeepsie. Okay.
Is it
Man.
I don't know.
It was the.
That was a
they had so many visitors.
This
many
is
random
so-
types of
They
plates.
did.
This is so basic.
Yeah, go ahead, take it, Ben. Yeah, I know we have to get into our exclusive interview with Connor Croft here soon. I'm sure he's watching this. Like, what are these people doing right now?
We just yap too much.
Yeah.
According to the chat, I'm the queen of yappers.
Yes.
Can confirm. I live with her. She is the queen of Leopard.
I think we need to end.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and that's going to be the end of our weekly feature doing GeoGuessr. If you guys like this weekly feature, we can bring it back in a future segment, or if you have any ideas on what the next weekly feature should be, let us know in the chat or leave a comment on one of our videos. Get in touch with us on our Discord server. But that was Meteorologists and Storm Chasers playing GeoGuessr.
That was really bad,
and,
guys.
That was fun.
doing okay. I don't know, I think
I mean,
like we
between
talked about New York.
objectively, between
So the
you
first
and
one
Leopard,
was
yeah.
great.
Yeah, but we also got Minnesota.
It's also
though.
the northern tip of Appalachia.
Right.
So it's
I-
like,
I kinda
okay.
I did say
like-
Upper Appalachia.
I think we did okay, but that's all right. We're going to go to a quick intermission here, and then we're going to have an exclusive interview with legendary storm chaser Connor Croft coming up soon. So with the smoke in New England and Quebec, what you'll notice, so if here's the surface, right? And you have all this smoke in the atmosphere. During the day, it's going to block your radiation, right? So your radiation is going to come down to the surface, and some of it is going to make it down to the surface, right? But a lot of it will get scattered back up into the atmosphere by all those lithometeors. But at night, this time, when the Earth is emitting its radiation that eventually goes off into space, some of that radiation is scattered back down towards the surface. And as a result, it traps in some of that heat. If this is going to be your expected temperature range here in blue, on a normal day, on a day where you have clouds, your expected temperature range, and here's an example of this. Temperature goes up here as we go up the graph, essentially. So this would be your low temperature, and this would be your high temperature. So on a day with a lot of sunshine, it might look like what you have in blue here. But on a day with overcast conditions, it might look something like this. So your low is going to be a little bit higher, and your high is going to be a little bit lower as a result. So I hope that makes sense. Do I think we'll get a new tornado warning to the north? If you mean the north of this tornado warning polygon, it's definitely possible. If we do get a downstream tornado warning, it would look probably like this. So if you're out in that area ahead of this warning, definitely be prepared for the possibility of a continuation of a tornado warning on this supercell. And on the left-hand side, you can see that lowering, especially in the top left camera there that's coming out of San Antonio. Yeah, it looks like in that middle camera on the left-hand side, that looks like Scud to me. Bottom left camera doesn't look like it's looking at anything significant. And that middle camera, or the top left camera, excuse me, is a little further away, but it is definitely staring right at that lowering. Do you think this was a funnel cloud? Let us know in the comments. Is water wet? That's a great meteorological question. Let's talk about this. And I'm going to give you the answer. Inherently, what does it mean to be wet, right? It means to have moisture on you. It means to have water on some sort of object, right? In order for an object to be wet. So can water inherently have water on it? That's the question. I like to compare it to vorticity in the atmosphere, right? Vorticity is an infinitesimal point and how much spin that infinitesimal point has. Microscopic point. When you look at that, you're looking at the spin for that individual point, but then you might be looking at like broad scale rotation, right? Where rotation is more of like a bunch of different points rotating around something. So can water be wet? Right? Well, can a single point have vorticity? Yes. A single point, even though it's rotating in a larger mass, can also have its own individual vorticity. And since water droplets are in contact with other water droplets, they can inherently be wet. But this doesn't apply to a singular H2O molecule that is not in contact with other H2O molecules in vicinity. That water droplet would not be wet, that H2O molecule. But water itself can be wet because it has other water on it. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. Just a tiny little blip, and oh my gosh, I think we have a CC drop southwest of Black River Falls. So we might have another confirmed tornado just to the southwest of Black River Falls. But yeah, we're looking at this little blue speck here, which is co-located with this velocity couplet. Okay, we have a cam view. That's fine. We'll full screen this for right now. It looks, that might be a tornado. I think that's a little rope tornado in progress right now that you're seeing. It might have already fizzled out there. For a second there, that most certainly looked like a very weak rope tornado there. That was really interesting. So we definitely just had a brief little tornado to the southwest of Black River Falls, and there's definitely a CC drop with this. Yeah, and it just got confirmed, and it was confirmed by radar. I don't know how strong that was. We just watched that tornado rope out there on this traffic camera. It's definitely gone now, although it just got confirmed by the National Weather Service. It could easily recycle and put down another tornado. So we're just going to continue with him here. It looks like Allen's actually moving west. And again, Allen is still to the northwest of Wisconsin Rapids, right on this storm. I mean, he's literally under it. So if it does anything, we're going to know instantly. I think Allen's got a funnel right now. So a little rope funnel cloud we're watching in real time.
A destructive severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. Treat this like a tornado warning. Move indoors now and stay away from windows. This warning is issued when storms may produce destructive winds over 80 miles per hour or hail around the size of baseballs or larger. Major tree damage, power outages, roof damage, and flying debris is possible. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor, away from windows. Stay sheltered until the warning expires or officials say the storm has passed.
Here's Allen.
Really quickly, go back to SIMREF and look at those Iowa supercells on the 0Z8RRR.
Okay.
And then if you go to the total snow parameter, it leaves about a 2-inch snow swath.
What are we talking about?
Wait, oh my god.
Hail, rock,
No.
I'm doing good, Will. How are you doing?
I know that Connor can hear us.
I hear you guys loud and clear.
All right, we're good to go. Sorry. Apparently, you guys couldn't hear us for a second there, but Connor could hear us. We just asked him, how's he doing? We have legendary storm chaser Connor Croft in the house. This is really, really exciting for us. Of course, a good friend of ours now, known him about a month. Just a really, really great stand-up guy. And we got a big announcement regarding Connor coming up in a little bit as well. But Connor, I'll ask you a second time, and hopefully all our audio is good. How you doing? How's your recovery been?
I'm doing good. I'm doing better. I'm going on about 2 weeks and 5 days now. So Wednesday it'll be 3 weeks since I've had the surgery. The first 2 weeks were pretty rough, but I've turned a corner. I'm doing much better. So how are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Good.
we're good.
Fantastic.
I think the show's been going great so
Yeah.
far, so I couldn't be happier. I mean, we haven't run into any crazy hiccups, any technical issues, knock on wood. Really need to knock on some wood here because that would be the worst timing ever.
I don't have any wood, but
That's
I'll knock
okay.
on
I
I'm knocked on
knocked
metal
for you.
go.
There you go. Yeah, but everything's been going great, so I'm having a great night. I think it's been a lot of fun. I mean,
Yeah,
what do you guys-
this is awesome.
great.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, and
Well-
just a little positive feedback from I've been watching for about 45 minutes.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 45.
So, Connor, tell me a little bit about before we get into like the more normal interview style questions. I'm dying to know how, and I already asked you a little bit about it, but for those who, that was a private conversation. tell the people a little bit how your storm chasing was in the passenger seat with your dad, because that's so cool. That you
Yeah.
got to do. So essentially, for context, Connor went out with his dad like a little while ago and just chased around their local gym because of it. He can't drive yet with the knee. So how was that? Was it good to get out of the house?
Oh yeah, that was the first time outside of going to physical therapy I was able to like get outside the house, and so just kind of worked out because there are a couple of local setups just kind of in Northwest Indiana. That's where I'm from. The pattern this year has been crazy across this area. It's just been nonstop storms that have different systems that have been moving through, and so like 4 or 5 days out, I was just looking at stuff, and I was like, hey Dad, like. It looks like this weekend there's going to be some storms in the air. Like you want to go chasing, because he's gone chasing with me before. He was actually, crazy side note, he was actually in Rolling Fork with me.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That's
He-
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
you know
he
Rolling
was- he
Fork
was-
very well.
I was about to say, I know you guys from Mississippi State. You guys know all about Rolling Fork.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was when I was just getting started. So I'm 22 now. I was only 19, and so he took me storm chasing for the motorist down there, and we ended up in Rolling Fork. So he's gone on probably 10, 15 storm chases with me before. So this isn't necessarily a new thing, but it just worked out. He was able to get a couple days off work, and it just so happened that we got an insane derecho across the Chicagoland area in Northwest Indiana. So it was pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's awesome. And one thing that some folks may already know about, and I just, you got to ask about it when you got Connor Croft on the show, is when not long ago you had a tornado right by your house, and you were on FaceTime with your dad, right? Just kind of guiding him, telling him where to go. Tell us, what was that like? That was a crazy day, by the way.
Yeah, that was one of the most stressful, insane situations I've ever found myself in, because you're sitting there, I'm in Illinois, and I'm knocking myself. I'm like, how am I, like, this is like the Super Bowl for me. Like, how am I not in my like home area when there's tornadoes going through there? So you're beating yourself up over that. And then I got my dad a couple hours earlier. He's like, I'm gonna go out there and see what I can see. And he's got a GoPro and he's got a GoPro and a phone. And so I'm like, okay, Dad. And so he was gonna try and stream on the GoPro. He's gonna try and send it to my guy Brady, Stormcat 5, who runs my stuff behind the scenes. And the GoPro just wouldn't work. And so he took his phone, he started streaming. And while he's doing this, he calls me and he's like, I need you to tell me what to do so I can get this, like, the feed. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, look at your phone, like, do this and this. And he's like, no, like, I don't have, like, he has no radar. He has no navigation.
How is
He has nothing. He has his phone. He has the GoPro recording, and he has the streaming to Brady, who's putting it on my feed. And so I pull over off the side of the road. And so I have half my tablet I have my tablet on Apple Maps. I have my MacBook showing like my live stream so I can see what he's seeing. And I have my phone on radar, and I'm just like in the cockpit. I'm just navigating him. I'm air traffic control. I'm navigating him. And then all of a sudden he actually like sees the tornado. And I'm like, okay, like, well, I'm like setting boundaries. I'm like, do not drive past this point on the road. I'm like, you got to stay behind it. I just we call it hook slicing. I'm like, keep hook slicing. You can see it. You don't need to get in front of it. And then, I'm thinking it's like, I don't know, 15 miles from my house when it touches down. My town, small town, grew up here. I got all my friends and family live here. And, this happens a couple times a year. It's like, okay, there's a little tornado. And then this thing just gets strong, and it turns serious quick. And the tornado tracks. And so I got people texting me, people calling me, like saying, what do I do? I got family calling me saying, do I actually need to get in the basement? I got friends texting me like, hey, is this actually coming? Like, what do we do? I'm trying to not get my dad killed. And I'm still beating myself up. I'm like, no way this is happening right now. And I'm not,
and you're
I'm
not there on it. Like,
yeah. And so what I think actually happened, interestingly enough, is it was on a direct path from my house. And I think there was a failed occlusion. It's hard to tell on radar if that's actually what happened, but so it's going down this highway, and for I don't know, maybe like a 20-second period, you can see it on my dad's stream. It gets really narrow, and it moves due north for like 20 seconds, and then it keeps going northeast. It turns again more easterly and got big again. So I wonder. It's really hard to tell based on radar, and even the National Weather Service's tornado path of it. It's hard to tell, but I think there may have been a failed occlusion that saved my house, because the tornado passed just north of. So I live on the like more of like the northwest side of town, and so the tornado tracked about a mile north and north and west of my house. So I think if it wouldn't have had that kind of weird, potentially failed occlusion where it moved more northerly for a little bit, it may have hit my house. And so my dad's out chasing. I got the rest of my family's in the basement trying to get our animals in the basement. It was insane.
Yeah, I can't imagine. And I have a little bit, I can relate slightly with the like being like, why am I not there? It's in my hometown when we had on May 16th of 2025, the EF3 in downtown St. Louis, Central West End. And I was sitting there in West County, St. Louis, where I live, like literally 13 miles or something from where the tornado touched down. And I just like, I had literally just finished finals for my junior year. I had just gotten home and I just didn't go. Like, I don't know why. I was like, I'm just going to chill out. And that cell popped up and I was like, oh my word. Like, yeah. So I get like, I can relate to only that part of it, but I can relate to that part about how annoying that can be. It's like, man, it's right there. Like I live here. Like what? But yeah, man, I'm just so glad that your whole family is okay. Your dad's okay. Your house is okay. The pets, everything. So, but yeah, that's a crazy and scary situation.
Yeah, it was insane. I'm gonna make a YouTube video on it and try and tell the story, but I don't even. It's just there's just so much happening at once. It was insane. Yeah, that's all I can call it. It's just insane.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, I guess I'll get off the topic of that for a minute. Tell us a little bit more about like the Discovery series and how all of that came together and what that was like for you.
Yeah. So Discovery, they reached out initially, just asking for like a couple days of different footage. And unfortunately, like I didn't think I was going to be on there much because I wasn't totally prepared. But I've only been doing this like full time now for 3 years, maybe 3.5 now. And my first 2 years, like I didn't have much equity sitting around to, buy all these fancy cameras and stuff. I was purely focused on live streaming. I was streaming with a phone, Starlink, and I had a front camera that I used that actually recorded good footage. It's a Lumix. And so I actually didn't have in-car camera footage for most of these chases that they were asking for. And on a TV show like that, like thinking, okay, like they're going to want that. But they still put me on there quite a bit. It was pretty awesome going down there. I interviewed in Nashville and Denver. They actually interviewed me at Denver at the Chaser Summit, so it kind of worked out. But then I had to travel down. I had to travel down to Nashville, and it's cool. It's definitely nerve-wracking. I got all the big cameras out and everything, and they're interviewing you. They're just grilling you, and it's interesting too. They were great. They made the whole process easy. But it's interesting too because it's like TV. So like you say stuff in the interview, and it's interesting to watch the way they spin things. It's very different. They didn't do much with me, but I know that there were some storm chasers who were like, "Whoa." Like,
that's not exactly what I meant.
That's not exactly what I meant. But no, they were great. It was a really fun process, and I hope they have a season 2 because I'd love to go on there again. But it was really just it was an honor to be on there. Like you grow up watching all these storm chasing TV shows, and so to actually be able to like be a part of them, it was an awesome experience.
Yeah, it's got to be a dream come true. I'm not gonna lie. That would be the coolest thing ever if I got to do something like that, man. Yeah. That would be literally a childhood dream. I don't mean to put you on the spot. What is like the hardest question they asked you? You said they were kind of grilling you. Like if you remember.
It's more so it's just like you're sitting there, bright light in your eyes, just one-on-one for like 4 hours. And you're just talking non-stop. You get like a 5-minute break here and there when they're like, okay, we're gonna talk about this tornado next. You can go get a drink of water. And it's just question after question after question. And the hardest part is they want you to say everything in present tense. So like if I say, and then I went down this road, they're like, no, they'll be like, can be like, okay, we have to redo the present tense, and I'll have to be like, okay, I'm going down this road instead of like I went. They're like, it has to be present tense.
Right.
That was the hardest part.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's something that like folks who have never like done that type of thing before maybe wouldn't know. Trying to create that storytelling aspect where the viewer feels like they're with their like they're immersed or with the chaser or whatever it is that's going on in there. So
my soldier will be going through this series and seeing if I can find a past tense verb in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Did Connor Croft slip?
I probably, I mean, I probably did, especially when I was in Denver. Like I messed up so many times. They might have just been like, screw it, we're just putting this in. Like, but no, they were pretty serious about it, like in a nice way, of course. But they were like, hey, we got to stay in the present tense because you guys are exactly right. They want it for the storytelling aspect, for it to be like they're in the moment with us. They don't want it to be like they're telling a past event. Like you're supposed to be with the chaser going through these events. So
Yeah,
that was definitely the most challenging.
Really interesting. Well, we have other questions for you. Okay, what do you think about the unique community that the weather space has since Weather Twitter is such a big and popular thing right now, especially with everything going on? What do you think about the community over there?
Yeah, I mean it's
I know
whether
it's kind of a 180.
yeah. That is a 180. Whether we like it or not, it is our community, and obviously the thing about Twitter, man, is that it promotes controversy and arguments, and so like it makes it so easy for everyone. Even I mean, I'm guilty. I get caught up in it all the time. I'll see a comment on Twitter talking crap. I'll be like, oh, you want to go? Like you caught me, like you caught me on the wrong day, and I'll get in like 10 comment thread where I just look like an absolute douchebag, where I'm just arguing with this probably bot from Russia that's not even a real person.
I've had my fair share of bots, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of people on weather Twitter. When I was first getting into weather, not first getting it, but when I was first branching out into the social media side of things, I learned so much from weather Twitter, just watching the academic people post like, okay, tornado warning here, like look at this velocity coupler. Like my initial, when I was like 12, 13 of getting into this stuff, was largely based on being a part of weather Twitter and seeing all these like-minded people who were posting all these crazy cool things about things I had no idea what they even meant. And so that it played a big part in me just like learning the basics. So I'm a big fan of the weather community. Obviously there's bad apples. Some people would say I'm a bad apple, but you know, it's a pretty cool place.
I feel like some people would say everybody's a bad apple over there. So
Yeah,
I feel like you just you know.
A lot of attempts to come for people's necks, but you know what? That's part of its charm.
Yeah.
Shout out Weather Twitter. We
Exactly.
love Weather Twitter.
It's a little fun.
Yeah.
That actually,
Exactly.
yeah,
Just a
that,
little fun.
yeah, that kind of ties into the question that I had for you, which is, so obviously, like, I got my degree from Mississippi State University, and I've, done all the hard weather classes that are supposed to make me this great meteorologist, but, like, I realized very quickly after graduation that I don't know anything about anything, and people, like Adrian, for example, have taught me a lot.
True.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? It's a little bit of
It's being dramatic,
that's
guys.
a little bit of a hyperbole, but
Lorian's very smart.
but like I realized that there's a lot to learn from like chasers that I don't know of being from an academic setting. So kind of what I wanted to know is like, what are your thoughts on like the relationship between like operational forecasters and chasers, and like how can we work together to not only create like a better understanding of meteorology for the public, but just to better forward the science? Sorry, that's a really insane question.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good question, because I truly believe that like if you're getting a meteorology degree, I think you should be required to go out and see the things that you're learning about
Absolutely.
by the way.
in
Absolutely.
real time, because like I don't have a degree, and like some of like the more like the definition stuff, or some of the like more like detailed meteorology stuff, like I don't have a clue. I'm not gonna have a clue about. But for stuff like weather coverage, or just like informing the public, I feel like storm chasing has given me the ability to do that much better than if I weren't to do it. And I think the hands-on experience, watching the RFD cut, like watching what I see on radar correspond with what I'm seeing in person. Like I feel like that's an invaluable skill, especially for somebody who's getting their degree and plans on working at the National Weather Service or something, and they're going to be sitting behind the desk issuing those warnings. Like if you can like put an image in your head based on what you're seeing on radar, like I feel like that's an invaluable skill. So I think storm chasing and meteorology go hand in hand, and I think that most meteorologists, like if they haven't gone storm chasing, they should. I think it's beneficial.
No, I agree, and there's a couple layers to this too. The reality is we don't have as many radar units as we would like to have. We don't have as many soundings getting launched as we'd like to have, and we don't have as many cameras, like sky cameras, as we'd like to have. And people like the North Mississippi Storm Chasers, for example, that are putting up cameras, those things help a lot. But the reality is we don't have full infrastructure there yet. Storm Chasers are not only like helpful, but they are genuinely a requirement if you want accuracy to be as high as possible with the National Weather Service. And in terms of confirming tornadoes and issuing good warnings, having a lower false alarm rate, all those types of things go hand in hand. I think it's a very important symbiotic relationship between operational forecasting and storm chasers. Again, it's your eyes on the ground, it's your boots on the ground. You gotta be able to see something, and it also really helps the public because people psychologically, there are a lot of studies that back this up. This is not just me spouting off storm chaser propaganda here, but people are much more psychologically likely to take action if they can see the tornado versus if there's a warning. Even if it's a tornado emergency warning, they're far more likely to take action if they can see it. So storm chasers, again, they just provide so much value to bridge that gap in the infrastructure that we don't have because like I said, we don't have enough radar units, enough sky cams, whatever it is. And that's just the reality. Maybe one day we will, and we won't have to have storm chasers that are putting their lives on the line to do this for the American people. But right now, we don't. And so we need talented people like Connor to be our eyes on the ground and by we, I mean operational forecasters. I myself storm chase too, but I mean operational forecasters, like it's required.
I hope people still need storm chasers because I love storm chasers. So
He needs a job, guys.
yeah, I was about to say Will's trying to put me out of a job here.
Like, what about me? I'm your best pal, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. Will's planning to replace me with cameras, guys.
No. That's Adrian. Don't put words in my mouth.
Yeah, but I think also another point too is interesting as technology's improved and as the content space has grown. The relationship between meteorologists, YouTube channels, weather YouTube channels, and storm chasers has really kind of grown and blossomed. So it's given storm chasers even more importance too, and has arguably opened up a lot of job opportunities in the storm chasing field for someone like me. So it's been interesting to see as the content space grows with people doing what you guys are trying to do, how storm chasers have also benefited from that.
Yeah, I really liked what you had said earlier about how the people in the academic setting need to get out and like see what they are learning about. Because I remember my senior year, just last year, sitting in my mesoscale class, and we were talking about all these different things, and I'm like, what are we talking about? I don't understand. Like, I can't visualize what my teacher is trying to talk about. And then I'd go on a storm chase with Adrian, and he'd show me like the reality behind everything that we're learning, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this makes sense
now. It can really click.
Yes.
Just like that when you see it. It's like a lot of words that lack the meaning until you got that visual.
Right. I mean, I think that the field should be basically the meteorology classroom. I mean, you literally get to see what you're learning about on display in front of you. Like it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think a lot more people would be interested in atmospheric kinematics if they could watch it happen in front of them because it's pretty cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Most people who do meteorology are interested in it because they saw a cool spinning cloud once upon a time in their life.
Right. Exactly. So you can wake up in the target area. You see on the models, your 850 is supposed to be cranking, and then you can look up at the sky the morning of. You're like, oh dang, these are cranking. Like you just get to see it. All the things you see on the models, all the things you learn about, you just get to see in person. That I think it's invaluable.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, speaking on the topic of storm chasers and what we're doing, about 4 minutes ago, because these were scheduled posts to come out, we actually just announced that one of the pieces of big news on this podcast coming out, which is that we've signed Connor Croft to join what we're doing here at Will Bratton WX. So Connor is going to be a part of what we're doing here. This is literally such an incredible honor to have you. I couldn't be happier to work with you. It's been really hard to keep my mouth shut about this for a little while now. But the cat's out of the bag as of about 5 minutes ago. We've got Connor Croft. He's going to be, his feed is going to be available on our broadcasts. And so we have this mission. Connor and I have been talking, like I said, for around a month now. And we've talked so much extensively about like the desire to just have as many good feeds, as many views of a tornado all over the places we can. So for example, if Connor has a feed, it's not just that he wants to put it on my broadcast. We want to put it everywhere, right? We want to make sure that everybody that's getting reached by any severe weather coverage from either local news or your content creators like what we're doing or anything like that can see that tornado, because like we talked about earlier, they're far more likely to take action if they can see it. It's just a psychological thing. And so Connor and I talked about that a lot. And so this is just another step towards our mission of trying to do good in the community. And so Connor, from me to you and from us to you, welcome to the team. Obviously, we've already welcomed you, but publicly welcome you to the team. We could not be happier to have you. I couldn't be happier to have you here. It's just so incredible. I'm so happy to finally. It's like a sigh of relief,
awesome.
like to actually say it into existence. Now that people know. So
yeah. No, I'm happy to be on here with you guys. You guys have been doing a great job over the last couple months. And I think exclusivity among Storm Chasers, like you mentioned, I don't necessarily agree with it. Most of you, I haven't even announced this to my own audience, but most people know that was exclusive with just Max Velocity, and obviously no hate towards Max. I'm still going to be on his stream, but I just decided personally I wanted to try and move in the non-exclusive direction, and he was really supportive of that, and he was like, I think that's a good idea. And I'm obviously a big reason with that was because I saw what you guys were doing over here. I saw the way you guys were doing things, and I just couldn't agree with more about the process. And so I went ahead and was able to get the non-exclusivity new contracts going, and now I'm going to be featured obviously here still with Max. I got to deal with Ryan as well, and so just kind of adding on what you said. The more eyes that can be on the potential tornado that I'm seeing any given day, the more seriously it's going to be taken. And so just to be able to take that step back towards non-exclusive is a sigh of relief for me too. And obviously the benefit of that is I get to work with some amazing new people like you guys. So I'm definitely happy to be a part of you guys' team over here.
Well, I really appreciate that. That's it means a lot to, I know myself, I know it means a lot to Ben in the chair. I know it means a lot to everyone on our team. Our team, for those who don't know, is like over 20 people strong now. We've got such an incredible team. I couldn't be more proud of everything that we've done in literally 2 months. It's been unbelievable. I'd have never thought that 2 months into this, we'd be sitting here with these microphones doing a podcast. Like, it's just blowing my mind. The amount of support that's been shown for the work we're doing has just been incredible as well. And it resonates, you know, like Connor just said, when people see like good work that's being done, they want to be a part of it. And so that's just really cool. It's just validation, right? That the work that we're doing is good, right? And it's not that it's just good in terms of like, you know, it's a good business model, but it's good because we're doing good in the community. That's why people want to be a part of what we're doing. And that's why people are tuning into our broadcast, because we're fully centered around the community. So, and that's why we're so selective with our team too. That's why, like I said, I talked to Connor for you know, quite a while. And I talked to all our Storm Chasers that we've signed for quite a while before we bring them on. Taylor and Lorian know about that process. I can drag it out sometimes because I really want to vet people and make sure that the people that we bring in are committed to our goals. And again, our goals are not necessarily the business side of this. Like, we have to make a living doing this in order to feed our families someday. Of course, we're all young that are folks that are going to eventually get married, eventually going to have kids, you know, things like that. And, you know, I personally want to send my kids to college, you know, and I want to be able to do nice things for my family. And so part of that is a business perspective. But my number one goal, and the reason I'm even doing any of this, the reason that we started this, the reason that you two yahoos convinced me to do this like a year and a half ago was because we want to do good in the community. And I felt like, you know, we have that skill set, like we can make that happen. So that's what we're doing. And that's the fact that we're able to sign a legendary Storm Chaser like Connor Croft. I don't mean to talk about him like he's not sitting right here, but like the fact that we're doing that is just such a testament to the work we're doing. Anyway, enough about what we're doing. Let's get back to talking about Connor, man, because we got him.
I'm just another guy who loves the weather. That's what drew me kind of to you guys, is because I can feel the passion you guys have just for doing it, and obviously like it's great to be able to make a living from it. And we gotta feed ourselves, but at the core of both myself and you guys, I can just feel the passion and the love for weather from your team. And so that was another one of the things that kind of just drew me towards you guys and joining the team. So I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate that. And now that cat's out of the bag, what do we got? What do you want to know, Adrian?
I've got one question for you, and it's a little
what
bit
do you got?
Than their questions. So theirs are more meteorologically related, but me personally, I want to talk to you on a personal level about storm chasing. And you know as well as I do, as anybody else who tries or attempts to do this full time, that it's a grind, and there's so many different aspects that go into it. What I want to ask you personally, and this can be, either an emotional experience or just, some good you were able to do. What is your most meaningful storm chase that you've been on? Whereas the one you remember the most, and what has affected your life the most?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a couple different answers for this. Rolling Fork was my first experience with what what these tornadoes actually do. It turned from I want to go see tornadoes. This is so cool. Like, this is so awesome. I'm gonna get cool footage, more towards like, okay, like holy crap, like this is what these things actually do. Like, yes, I love chasing I love seeing tornadoes, but this is the damage they do on a real scale. So that was the first time. That was kind of the moment where my mindset kind of flipped. Obviously, I'm still trying to get the best footage, get the best content and stuff, but that added a whole nother level of meaning to it, because I saw firsthand what these things that I love to chase actually do. And so there were a couple instances like Rolling Fork on April. It was in Nebraska. I'm not good at dates or analogs. I heard earlier that Ronk is really good at that. I can't remember dates to save my life. I think it was April 26, 2024. Was that the Nebraska outbreak?
Yes.
Yeah.
We all look at him immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
I was about to say, I looked
Career
at him
day
through
was
I looked at him through the screen. So
Yeah, the career day up there in northeast Nebraska that kind of went into Iowa and that type of area. Yeah. The day
So
I
I'd
missed
actually-
because I was in
That's impressive.
Oklahoma.
So I actually didn't have the best chasing day that day, but I got on one good storm. I locked myself out of my car that morning. Complete side note, but
I've been there before, don't worry.
Oh good God!
I was in Lincoln, locked out of my car an hour before the Lincoln tornado came through, and I missed the Lincoln tornado. So that should just tell you about that day. But
No.
yeah, so I eventually get on another storm. It's going through Trainer, Iowa, which is just east of Omaha, and it hits a house. And I pull up in the driveway, and obviously I searched the house, couldn't find anybody, and there was an old lady home, and she was completely okay. But that was a pretty emotional experience for me, where I ended my chase because I just went to help. Holly, Texas wasn't even me. I was there, but that was actually where Freddie, my friend Freddie McKinney, was able to bring a family to the hospital, and I was with him for I was with them for the 24 hours after that chase. We stayed at the same hotel. We chased together the next day, and just seeing the way it affected him, and then just being there at the hospital after he brought him there. I mean, just those are the kind of experiences that just add a whole new meaning, because it's hard because you sit there. It's like, okay, like I want to put out the best content. I want to make sure that I can feed myself, like keep the storm chasing mission going. But that's when you have experiences like that makes it, that's not what it's about anymore. It just turns it into more of like, okay, what can I do as a storm chaser to help people, whether it's be warned for the storm, whether it's after the storm. And there's a lot of cases where I try and avoid search and rescue just because I'm not trained. I don't want to get in people's way. That's a controversial subject among storm chasers. Some people are always like, you got to help no matter what. I'm usually more of a like, okay, like if I'm the first on scene, like, yeah, I'm dropping everything. Like I'm going to do what I can. But if I'm 10 minutes afterwards and I already see emergency vehicles, I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay out of their way because I have no idea what I'm doing. And so it's just those different experiences that change the whole mindset of what I'm doing out here.
I think that's a great.
I think your dad just said, "Who is this loser in the
Yeah,
chat?"
that's what I was
It's sorry, that just caught me off guard.
Yeah, that would be
I
my
couldn't do it.
that would be my dad. I don't.
That was
I
that
did
was
not-
horrible timing for me to see that and
did
laugh. as
not-
we're talking about something really serious and sentimental,
I
but
did not even.
Yeah, we're laughing at you.
I don't even know how he found this.
from your Twitter probably.
Probably, yeah, probably.
Anyway, yeah, sorry about that. That was very untimely
No,
interruption.
that
I
was
apologize.
hilarious.
I
No,
think that's a
but-
great mindset to have about the search and rescue, and I think that's the mindset that every single chaser chaser should have. Like I wish a lot of people, stuck to that.
Yeah, no, my
Yeah.
stepdad is a firefighter, and he does a lot of search and rescue after the fact. And there is nothing that is more detrimental to a search and rescue than somebody who doesn't know what they're doing trying to do search and rescue. In fact, it makes it. The fact that you have like the humility to just be like, I don't have to do this. Like I don't have to be the hero. Like if there are people there that are qualified,
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of hate for it too. Like if I'm on stream and I pull up to a town that's been hit and I see a bunch of emergency lights and I'm like, okay, guys, like our best use here is if we just stay out of everybody's way and make sure it doesn't like hit another town. Like this town, like they've got this town. I'll get a lot of hate. They'll be like, you're not Connor Croft doesn't help people, and it's just until you're out there, you just don't fully fully understand it. So, but that was a very long answer. But to answer your question, Ronka, it would either be the Trainer Iowa Day there or the Rolling Fork Day. Or the Holly, Texas Day, just because they all had the kind of similar human aspect to it, where it's just a good reminder of like there are much bigger things going on than my little storm chasing business. Like that's really should be the least of my concerns when I'm out here.
Yeah, and that really speaks to your character too. That the three most impactful chases to you were something that was human. It was personal, right? It wasn't like, dude, I saw the craziest tornado of all time and it was super sick. It was your conversation there was sincere, and it's you can tell when somebody's a genuine person. And again, that's why we love Connor. That's why we're so happy to have him as part of the team, and why it's a great honor to have you as the first ever guest on Met Monday. But that is going to kind of take us to the end of our time here for our guest interview segment. Connor, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your night. Again, I know we went like about 15 minutes or so past where I told you it'd end, but I apologize for that. But thank you so much for spending some time with us. Is there anything you want to leave us with?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Anytime you guys need a guest, just let me know. And had a blast talking with you guys. I feel like, I was about to say, I feel like it's easy to talk to you guys. I could talk for hours with you. Guys,
come on down to Starkville.
Hey, dude, if you're in Starkville, you can crash right on this here couch. You got a spot.
Yeah. Buddy. I mean, I'm sure I'll be in that area this winter. I feel like actually the Mississippi River Valley,
genuonly, and we can talk about this off stream too. But like, if to save you hotel money, like you can 100% crash here if you need to.
Well, I appreciate it. Like I said, I think I'll find myself down there. That kind of Arkansas Delta area is kind of a hot spot during these El Nino years.
Yes,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, again, thank you so much, Connor. The very next segment, we're going to have a brief intermission first, about a 5-minute intermission. And then the next segment is going to be a weather roundtable. We're going to be discussing a bunch of random topics, things that aren't necessarily controversial, but that spark conversation and different opinions about it. So we're going to be talking about some cool stuff. After that, we've got the lightning round, which is going to be really cool. It's like some trivia stuff, another mini game essentially to close out the night and bring the energy back. And then we'll be kind of closing out the show. So we got another about half hour left in the show. Stick with us. Again, Connor, thank you so much for tuning in. If you don't subscribe and follow Connor everywhere, I don't know what you're doing, because he's one of the best storm chasers in the game. So definitely make sure you're doing that, because dude's just incredible. Connor, once again, welcome to the team. Thank you so much for tuning in or for coming into the podcast and chatting with us. And we'll see you guys after the intermission.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Connor.
So with the smoke in New England and Quebec, what you'll notice, so if here's the surface, right? And you have all this smoke in the atmosphere. During the day, it's going to block your radiation, right? So your radiation is going to come down to the surface, and some of it is going to make it down to the surface, right? But a lot of it will get scattered back up into the atmosphere by all those lithometeors. But at night, this time, when the Earth is emitting its radiation that eventually goes off into space, some of that radiation is scattered back down towards the surface. And as a result, it traps in some of that heat. If this is going to be your expected temperature range here in blue, on a normal day, on a day where you have clouds, your expected temperature range, and here's an example of this, temperature goes up here as we go up the graph, essentially. So this would be your low temperature, and this would be your high temperature. So on a day with a lot of sunshine, it might look like what you have in blue here. But on a day with overcast conditions, it might look something like this. So your low is going to be a little bit higher, and your high is going to be a little bit lower as a result. So I hope that makes sense. Do I think we'll get a new tornado warning to the north? If you mean the north of this tornado warning polygon, it's definitely possible. If we do get a downstream tornado warning, it would look probably like this. So if you're out in that area ahead of this warning, definitely be prepared for the possibility of a continuation of a tornado warning on this supercell. And on the left-hand side, you can see that lowering, especially in the top left camera there that's coming out of San Antonio. Yeah, it looks like in that middle camera on the left-hand side, that looks like Scud to me. Bottom left camera doesn't look like it's looking at anything significant. And that middle camera, or the top left camera, excuse me, is a little further away, but it is definitely staring right at that lowering. Do you think this was a funnel cloud? Let us know in the comments. Is water wet? That's a great meteorological question. Let's talk about this. And I'm going to give you the answer. Inherently, what does it mean to be wet, right? It means to have moisture on you. It means to have water on some sort of object, right? in order for an object to be wet. So can water inherently have water on it? That's the question. I like to compare it to vorticity in the atmosphere, right? Vorticity is an infinitesimal point and how much spin that infinitesimal point has. Microscopic point. When you look at that, you're looking at the spin for that individual point, but then you might be looking at like broad scale rotation, right? Where rotation is more of like a bunch of different points rotating around something. So can water be wet? Right? Well, can a single point have vorticity? Yes. A single point, even though it's rotating in a larger mass, can also have its own individual vorticity. And since water droplets are in contact with other water droplets, they can inherently be wet. But this doesn't apply to a singular H2O molecule that is not in contact with other H2O molecules in vicinity. That water droplet would not be wet, that H2O molecule. But water itself can be wet because it has other water on it. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. Just a tiny little blip, and oh my gosh, I think we have a CC drop southwest of Black River Falls. So we might have another confirmed tornado just to the southwest of Black River Falls. But yeah, we're looking at this little blue speck here, which is co-located with this velocity couplet. Okay, we have a cam view. That's fine. We'll full screen this for right now. It looks, that might be a tornado. I think that's a little rope tornado in progress right now that you're seeing. It might have already fizzled out there. For a second there, that most certainly looked like a very weak rope tornado there. That was really interesting. So we definitely just had a brief little tornado to the southwest of Black River Falls, and there's definitely a CC drop with this. Yeah, and it just got confirmed, and it was confirmed by radar. I don't know how strong that was. We just watched that tornado rope out there on this traffic camera. It's definitely gone now, although it just got confirmed by the National Weather Service. It could easily recycle and put down another tornado. So we're just going to continue with him here. It looks like Allen's actually moving west. And again, Allen is still to the northwest of Wisconsin Rapids, right on this storm. I mean, he's literally under it. So if it does anything, we're going to know instantly. I think Allen's got a funnel right now. So a little rope funnel cloud we're watching in real time starting to extend from this storm just to the northwest of Wisconsin Rapids. You can see on the bottom of your screen, you can see that storm there. And Allen's feet in the top left, we're literally watching this rope funnel cloud slowly descend from the cloud. It's very clearly trying, and it's definitely thin, but it's most certainly there. And you're gonna see his location here. I'm gonna zoom in on it at the bottom of your screen so we can see where Allen is relative to the storm. So this is your velocity couplet you're seeing at the bottom of your screen, and here's Allen.
Really quickly, go back to SIMREF and look at those Iowa supercells on the 0Z8RRR.
Okay.
And then if you go to the total snow parameter, it leaves about a 2-inch snow swath.
What are we talking about?
Wait,
Oh my
what?
God.
Hail
Wait,
rock
what is this, bro?
as snow.
No,
No,
he's
it's hail.
right. It's,
It's
like
hail.
it's the hail.
It's gotta be
Hail.
measuring
It's
yeah.
literally
It's
dropping
gotta
a
be
hail
measuring
swath
hail.
on the map. That's actually really unique.
That is wild.
2.5, 3 inches. We're good. Okay, we're good now. We're good now. We're gonna fix that. Don't worry. So that won't happen in the next show. But we're here. We're back with the Weather Roundtable, and we're gonna be talking about some questions. Taylor's got some thought-provoking questions for us, so she's gonna be kind of leading the discussion here, and this is her forte. Look at the smug look on your face right now. She's ready here for
here to
some
cause
thought-provoking,
discourse.
torturous questions. So we're gonna just kind of hop right into things here, and yeah, feel free to offer your thoughts in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. Lorian, pick a number 1 through 4.
4.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. She sent us these what these questions were so we could prepare. But with how much of a hurricane things have been the last day or two, I'm not gonna lie, I just don't remember them.
Well,
So
speaking of hurricanes,
what
if 2 hurricanes collided? What would happen?
ooh, okay, that's a fun question. There a lot of different things would happen, and you would think
I know the answer to this.
so.
I feel like I have an unfair advantage, but
You could end up in a situation with like a Fujiwara effect. I feel like
that's what I had.
Yeah, and I feel like you could end up. For those who don't know, it's basically they rotate around each other. And there's other things that could happen too. What the world just happened?
What's happening to the screen?
There we go. I don't know what that was. That was funny looking. Yeah, we get like a Fujiwara effect where the hurricanes kind of rotate around each other. I feel like some interesting things could happen. It could lead to kind of almost a collapse in some ways because hurricanes are so powered by Coriolis, and when you're on that smaller scale, Coriolis can't have as much of an impact. So I wonder if that could lead to like a weakening.
Yeah.
What do you got on it?
I was thinking two different things. One, Fujiwara, and this can be an example of this would be Hurricane Helene. Hurricane Helene, once it became an extratropical cyclone up in Tennessee and North Carolina, it actually Fujiwara'd with another low pressure that was coming through with a trough.
I feel like I remember that.
Yes, and that's why.
That's what produced that ridiculous flooding.
That is why North Carolina, the western side of North Carolina got hit so hard, got so much rain. It wasn't actually originally supposed to go that way. It was supposed to go to the east, but it ended up turning west, which is not very typical for tropical cyclones. So it was really cool to see that in real time. The other thing I had was almost like a nudger effect.
Okay.
Like how we see with supercells. If you don't know what the nudger effect is, it's really great research done by Cameron Nixon, where two storms will be in closer proximity to each other, and if one's forward flank downdraft sort of goes into the rear flank downdraft. Oh my god, I can't say that.
FFD and RFD.
FFD. I'm trying not to like do.
Yeah, no, I know.
Acronyms.
I'm just
People
messing
don't know
with
what
you.
these are. So, when the forward flank downdraft goes into the rear flank downdraft of another storm, that warmer air helps to fuel that more northerly storm. So, and a lot of times we actually see tornadoes happen with storms rather than bookend storms. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm explaining this really terribly. But I was wondering, like, could that possibly
more dominant hurricane if there was one, because as we know, like different things happen in the different quadrants of hurricanes, right? So if you're in the more intense part of the eye wall, depending on what hemisphere you're in or whatever it may be, that might vary slightly. But if that hurricane, the nudger in this case, kind of comes in and collides with that stronger part of the eye wall, I feel like it could enhance it, whereas the opposite would happen if it came from the opposite end.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm speaking kind of vague here. What do you guys think?
I'm very poorly versed in tropical, so I'm gonna let you talk about it while I think about it, because like I have my meteorology thing. My thing is like severe weather, and that severe weather excluding tropical cyclones. I don't care for tropical.
Mind you, she's doing her thesis on tropical cyclones.
You got it. She's trying to broaden her horizon.
I'm not willingly.
But she's forced to be doing her thesis on tropical cyclones.
It's gonna be great.
That's for me, like, and this is also coming from the perspective of this would be really awesome to see on radar, assuming of course it's in open space. But I'm wondering if you have a really dominant, say like category 4, category 5 low that's just kind of really intense low pressure system, and if you have like a much weaker one formed, just to the south and maybe along enhanced winds that kind of push it along a little faster, what if it like catches the edge of that deeper low and then just kind of slingshots it around?
Well, that's sort of what happened with Helene.
I mean, that's just something really cool to think about. It's like, a steeper sink drain, it goes faster around it, and you can just be that cyclone could be the marble that just slingshot around, kind of like in the Fujiwara effect. But same concept, but maybe be even stronger than it would have been otherwise.
Yeah. Well, still speaking of hurricanes, my next question. This one
We're in hurricane season, if you guys can't tell.
I'm also a hurricane person, so I'm from New Orleans.
Are all these hurricane questions?
No, there's just these two. I guess I was like, we're already on the hurricane topic. Might as well ask the other one. Okay, this is sort of a Met classroom question, I guess. But
okay.
What if a hurricane crossed the equator? Explain how this is not possible.
Ooh. Okay, so I don't think Coriolis would ever allow that to happen, right?
A hurricane has never crossed the equator.
Yeah,
Why
like
is that?
it would take an extremely powerful hurricane on a very anomalous track for that to ever happen. And that would make sense that it's never happened before. I don't think we've ever seen anything.
No, we've never seen a hurricane go lower than 5 degrees or higher than -5 degrees. So
yeah, Coriolis is a very, very interesting phenomena caused by the rotation of the Earth. And like I mentioned earlier, it kind of drives tropical weather and hurricane development, can sustain them. And so
It's the whole reason why hurricanes spin the way they do in the northern
Yes.
hemisphere versus the southern hemisphere.
Same thing with tornadoes. Speaking of, we're sending Mikey Plemons down there to Brazil, which is going to be the coolest thing ever. Because not because it's so like one, it's very cool. We're gonna see some tornadoes that spin the other way. Like yes, that's cool. But
We've actually seen those in the United States.
Yes,
though.
yeah, the left splitters, they will do that. You get those anticyclonic tornadoes in the northern hemisphere sometimes. But the really cool thing about this, I don't mean to go on a tangent, by the way. I just needed to squeeze this in at some point tonight. Is that there isn't a lot of awareness around severe weather. The infrastructure is just not as good out there in Brazil. And most people don't know Brazil and Argentina are pretty active severe weather areas for all hazards of severe weather, including tornadoes. And so what Mikey's doing is really noble. He's spending all of this money out of his pocket to go down there and storm chase with a bunch of locals. We're collaborating with a PhD candidate at OU who's from Brazil, as well as a bunch of local storm chasers back down in Brazil, and meteorologists from Brazil as well. And we're just trying to get a good idea of the climate, and we're doing all this collaborative work to try and bring awareness to these storms because people don't really see them. You know, it's pretty rare when a storm video comes out of the southern hemisphere, and if we can get more awareness around these storms, then maybe it'll move government or private companies to create better infrastructure to protect the Brazilian people. So that's why we're doing this. Really, really cool stuff. And I just had to squeeze that in there since we were talking about spinning the other way in the southern hemisphere.
Well, also speaking of spinning the other way,
Uh-oh.
I have another question that segues into this.
No way.
What would happen if Earth spun backwards?
Oh, no. What is this Dr. Mercer question?
We would all die.
What would happen?
If it was the Dr. Mercer question, we would be spinning backwards on a different planet.
Yes.
True, we'd be on Darth Maul.
Yes, we
So
probably-
That's not
Dr.
a planet.
Mercer, for context, is one of our professors at Mississippi State University. We absolutely love the guy. Very beloved. We're not making fun of him. We love this man to death.
We do.
And in his homework assignments, he'll do all these really like hypothetical Star Wars planet, like changing the size of the Earth and flipping Coriolis and
or just on a different planet completely with
Right.
a different
It's almost
atmosphere.
always
he'll make us
Almost far,
calculate the
yeah.
different components of the atmosphere before we even start to question and things like that too.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's not awesome when we're doing it's really satisfying when you finish it. But anyway,
It's really grueling in the when you're in it. Anyways.
what's your answer?
So what would happen if the Earth spun backwards? How would this affect our weather and climate, and how would this affect the average Joe? So my thing was when I had to research this again because I was like, there's no way I'm gonna remember this. Basically, if the Earth spun backwards, Coriolis would be backwards.
Yeah.
Therefore, the southern and the northern hemispheres would technically swap. So everything in the northern hemisphere spins counterclockwise. But if the Earth spun backwards, then everything in the northern hemisphere would spin clockwise.
Yeah, you would think it wouldn't really change much climate variability, right? Because you're not changing the tilt of the Earth, which, as we know, drives our seasons. We said at 23.44 degrees or
But
something like that.
It would change the ocean currents, though.
It would dramatically change this.
So
Now we're thinking. Now this is a fun conversation.
If the ocean currents were backwards, technically,
California's climate would take a crazy turn.
technically, everywhere would be different.
Now
That's
this
a good
is an
point.
interesting. This is fun. I
And
like
if
this.
the
This is
ocean-
the most nerd. I love this.
And if the ocean currents were backwards, that also messes with jet stream. So the
Yes.
like airline industry would be all messed up.
Yep.
It would have to be backwards because airplanes like to, fly in the jet stream and whatnot. So that would be different. Fishermen would have a really hard time navigating the ocean considering all the currents are backwards. So it would affect a lot of people if the Earth one day, well, technically if the Earth one day just stopped spinning and then
Yeah,
started spinning
we
the
just
other
have to
day,
get rid of that part where it changes
the-
direction.
Technically the ocean,
We would all drown
What is it?
immediately.
Newton's law of motion, the
Yeah.
oceans would just continue moving, whereas the land would stop, so we'd all die. But
Yeah.
if the Earth spun the other
We'd all
way, technically, if everything spun the other way, it would affect a lot of people. Ben says he has something
Yeah.
to say.
Ben,
has
let's
something
get
very
let's get
important
some
to say.
insight here from our non-meteorologist but aerospace engineer, Ben
Ooh.
Meyer.
Yes.
just wanted to tell you that we got a message in Brandon WX staff. There's a tornado warning in your favorite state, Nebraska. Touchdown possible. Looks decent on radar.
So we do have a tornado warning in Nebraska right now. Ben, is your mic going to the stream? Did they hear all that?
No.
Okay. So there's a tornado warning in Nebraska, and apparently it looks pretty good right now as we're sitting here filming this. Of course, tonight we're not doing severe weather coverage because we're here doing Met Monday. But yeah, apparently there's a tornado warning in Nebraska. So if anyone happens to be out there, definitely tune into your local coverage or somebody else who might be live on YouTube. Don't stay here with us on Met Monday if you're in that tornado warning polygon. Make sure you're getting yourself to shelter and staying safe out there. Obviously, we know there is a 2% tornado risk for Nebraska, South Dakota, parts of Minnesota, and Iowa as well, I believe. So make sure you're staying safe with that, Ben. I appreciate you letting us know about that. Yeah,
Well,
Nebraska mentioned. All the Nebraska emojis are just going to start flooding in the chat,
absolutely.
probably.
Well, fun fact, last question, good segue into this. Speaking of tornadoes, what would happen if an EF5 tornado went through a major city? Would we see any laws come out of this? And if so, what and why?
It's a good question.
Maybe locally on the state level, but nothing federal-wise. I don't think we've ever seen a federal law change, at least in modern day era. I don't believe so. I know, didn't Missouri, after Joplin, introduce the thing where you have to have a safe space inside a business?
Yes. I think, what is it, like public?
Yeah, you have to have a tornado sign.
Buildings. Yeah, they have to have that. They call it, I think it's literally just says tornado shelter, I think.
Yeah.
It has a little
We
tornado
have those
symbol.
on Mississippi State's campus.
Yes,
and I
we
really
do.
enjoy having those.
Mm-hmm. It's really helpful because not everybody is meteorologists or storm chasers
Yep.
or weather enthusiasts even. So it can be really helpful for people to just, they hear the sirens go off and they're like, man, I got to get somewhere, you know? So it can help. Most people aren't prepared all the time. And every room they go in, they're like, where's my storm shelter? Like not everybody's doing that, you know? So those things are very helpful. And I think that could be something that could get introduced maybe on the federal level. I don't know if that's something that could be possible, but for like public spaces, or at least maybe federally occupied buildings.
I was gonna say, like, we definitely have like updated building codes
Mhm.
since the 1900s or whatever. So I think that's technically federal level, but other than that, like, I don't know about any laws because I didn't really think hard into this question. It was more of a, what would happen if we had like another El Reno situation, and the sheer amount of either lives that are lost or property that's lost in a major city. So
Right.
If you'll have any thoughts on that.
I think it would do a lot for like raising awareness for like places that aren't major cities. Like usually, unfortunately, it does take something like that happening somewhere where there are a lot of eyes on it. So I mean, tornadoes happen here in Mississippi often, but it's often in like really small towns, and like it's talked about for a couple days, and then the world keeps moving, but the world doesn't keep moving for them. Like obviously, they have a lot of recovering to do. And if something like that were to happen in like New York City, like that would be earth shattering. That would be headlines for days. Like it would bring a lot of awareness to what people that are not in major cities have to go through, and maybe it would kind of spark conversation on how can we help these communities recover faster. Because if a place like New York City or like Los Angeles gets affected by these really horrible severe weather scenarios, maybe we would start thinking about, these other people get not as much help and they have to do all of the same thing. Obviously not to the same level as a major city would, but still.
Do we think it's like a matter of time for like maybe sometime like for a city like Chicago, for example? That's I mean, we think about how active Illinois has been this year.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, we've had multiple tornado warnings in Chicago that
Yeah.
are just in the
they get a
actual
lot
suburbs
of suburb
outside of Chicago.
tornadoes, like usually lower. I mean, a lot of lower end tornadoes have happened out there.
And I
but I
mean,
feel like like you talk about, if an EF4 or an EF5 starts to rip through and it goes to
we
downtown.
had in New Orleans, I believe it was in either 2020, we had a hurricane. We had a tornado go through one of the suburbs outside of New Orleans. Now it didn't directly hit downtown per se, but it went pretty close. It was an EF3,
Yeah.
and it really caught the attention of the National Weather Service down there. And a lot of people were like, "Wow, I didn't realize tornadoes happen here."
Yeah.
Louisiana, you don't really think about tornadoes happening in
A lot of
South
waterspouts and
Louisiana.
stuff, but-
Like, yeah, we have water spouts, but they
Yeah.
usually dissipate as soon as they come on land.
Right.
So, like seeing an actual like EF3 tornado, and it was being broadcast. Like there were chasers out there. It was
Mhm.
crazy. It had horizontal vortices and everything. It looked like a Tuscaloosa tornado. It was insane. Going through one of the suburbs of New Orleans. So it was crazy. I'm not talking about Slidell. I'm talking about Araby.
Yep. Went through the 9th Ward. I remember
Yep.
that one.
Yeah, and a similar thing just happened just over a year ago, and like I said earlier, in St. Louis and Central West End had an EF3 right in downtown St. Louis. I mean, that's it brought a lot of national attention in the same deal, but it wasn't
the type of like imagine it's a mile wide violent wedge tornado, like an EF4 or an EF5 tornado, and that is what happened in New Orleans, or that's what happened in St. Louis, or it happens in like Chicago or Des Moines or something like that. That could be one, it would be unbelievably devastating, obviously, but two, you would think that it could lead to some sorts of changes, you know?
I think it would, but
Unfortunately, that's the only way it seems to be able to happen.
Yeah. It always takes a really big tragedy for something good to come out.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit more of a grim note, but yeah. Up our weather roundtable discussion for the day. Coming up next is going to be probably one of the favorite segments, I feel like, of everybody that's watching. We're going to find out. This is the lightning round. We're going to be talking about random trivia, trying to get the most points, essentially. Ben's going to be conducting some stuff, asking us some questions. Sometimes it'll be collaborative questions where we're all trying to get the right answer, working together as a team. Or sometimes it'll be like he'll just read off a question. First one to say the word gets the point, essentially. So let's get right into that.
Bright future if we get better guests. That's funny. I can appreciate that.
God, nice. Yeah, he says, nice podcast. You guys have a bright future, especially if you get better guests. I see that.
Jeez, Will, at least get us one with 2 legs.
Connor has 2 legs. Just one of them's kind of stuck like this right now. It just doesn't really work.
Oh, we're muted. We're muted.
Oh,
we're muted again?
I fixed it. It's just a little delayed. It's just a little delayed.
Okay, sweet.
So
I hope y'all heard that.
not to hijack y'all's conversation, but I actually do want I want to start by doing a imitation of Will Bratton's forecast videos.
Okay, all right. What are we doing?
Here we go.
I'm so excited.
A severe lightning round is coming to your screen now. This will include fast-paced questions that are sure to bring competitiveness to our hosts and give me. Chat, we are unmuted, right? It says on the software that we are in fact unmuted. Okay, I see reactions for my impression. I'm guessing it works. So
I think they can hear us. I think they just got to witness sheer greatness.
Thank you. To